The arrival of the PREDATO, or the research ship Odyssey, Dawn, entered the orbit of planet K-47, slowly. Its engines quiet against the black sea of space. The planet below looked calm, covered in dark forests, wide rivers, and thick clouds that moved, like sleeping beasts. For the human crew, this mission was simple: study the planet, collect samples, and leave with data worth millions of credits. They did not know they were already being watched. Commander Elias Carter stood on the bridge and looked at the hologram of the planet, his face calm but focused. He had led many missions before, but something about K-47 made his instincts restless. Long-range scans showed no cities, no satellites, and no signs of intelligent life that should have made the mission easy. Yet, the silence felt too clean, too perfect. The landing team touched down near a wide forest valley where strange heat signatures had been detected. Tall black trees surrounded the landing zone, their leaves sharp like blades and unmoving in the wind. Dr. Maya Chun stepped onto the soil and knelt to collect samples, her scanner blinking softly. "This place feels wrong," she said quietly. "Everything feels wrong until we understand it," Carter replied, trying to sound confident. High, above them, hidden between shadows and light, something observed the humans with cold patience. The predator had arrived days before the humans. Drawn by their energy signals and movement, it was ancient, intelligent, and trained for one purpose only: to hunt. The predator studied the humans carefully, their body language, their tools, their voices. It learned fast, far faster than any creature the humans had ever faced. It noted their patterns, their routines, and the way they trusted their machines too much. The humans believed they were explorers. To the predator, they were prey worth testing. As night fell, the forest came alive with sounds, low growls, sharp clicks, and distant echoes. The human camp lights cut through the darkness like weak candles. Private John Reed walked the perimeter alone, his rifle resting on his shoulder. He felt eyes on his back but saw nothing when he turned. A sound came from the trees, soft and deliberate. Reed raised his weapon and whispered into his command, "I hear movement near the North Ridge." There was no response, only static, in one silent motion. The predator struck, a shimmer in the air, a blur of speed, and Reed was gone, pulled into the darkness without a scream. The forest swallowed him as if he had never existed. Minutes later, the alarm sounded in the camp. Carter ran to the perimeter and found Reed's rifle lying on the ground, bent like it had been crushed by steel hands. No blood, no tracks, no signs of struggle, just empty space where a man had been standing. Fear spread quickly, but Carter forced himself to think. "This is not an animal," he said firmly. "Animals leave signs. They leave chaos. This is something else." From the shadows, the predator watched again. Its mask recording human reactions. It had taken the first piece. Now it would study the response. Above the camp, unknown to the humans, a faint alien signal pulsed. Into deep space, a message only predators could understand. The hunt has begun. Tracking the hunter morning came slowly on planet K-47. But it brought no comfort to the human camp. The forest was quiet in a way that felt unnatural, like it was holding its breath. Commander Carter stood near the broken perimeter, staring at the empty space where Private Reed had vanished. No body, no blood, no clear tracks, just silence. The team gathered for an emergency briefing, their faces pale and tense. "This was not an accident," Carter said, his voice steady but hard. "Something intelligent took Reed. We are being hunted." Dr. Maya Chun scanned the ground again and again, adjusting her tools in frustration. "There are marks here," she said slowly. "Not footprints, more like pressure points. Whatever took him was heavy." But it moved carefully. The humans began to change their behavior without realizing it. Weapons stayed in hands, not on backs. Conversations became shorter, quieter. Eyes kept moving, always checking shadows and treetops far above them. The predator observed these changes with interest. It admired adaptation. Fear was common in prey, but learning was rare. This hunt was becoming interesting. Carter ordered a tracking team to move toward the North Ridge. If Reed had been taken there, they needed answers. 3 soldiers and 1 drone advanced slowly through the forest. Each step was measured, every sound controlled. The drone flew ahead, scanning heat, motion, and energy distortions. For several minutes, it found nothing. Then it suddenly froze. In midair, its systems screaming warnings, the feed cut to static before anyone could react. The drone collapsed to the ground, sliced clean in half. The cut was smooth, precise, and impossible. No human weapon could do that. It's playing with us, one soldier whispered. No, Carter replied through the cum. It's studying us. The forest shifted around them. Branches moved where there was no wind. Shadows bent and twisted in ways that hurt the eyes. The predator was close. Now, close enough to hear human heartbeats. It marked the strongest, the slowest, the leader. Suddenly, a sharp metallic click echoed through the trees. The ground beneath one soldier gave way. He fell into a hidden pit lined with sharp alien spikes, screaming in pain. The trap was advanced, deliberate, and cruel. The humans reacted instantly, pulling him out and sealing the wound. They did not run. They did not panic. They adapted. Carter ordered a retreat back to camp, but not in fear. This thing thinks we are prey, he said. Let's teach it that humans learn fast. From above, the predator watched with growing curiosity. They were not fleeing blindly. They were covering each other, adjusting formations, and protecting the wounded. This was not normal prey behavior. Back at camp, the humans worked through the night. They reinforced defenses, set sensors, and created overlapping fields of fire. Improvised traps were built using human explosives and alien terrain. Every mistake was analyzed. Every fear turned into data. Dr. Chun discovered something strange in the sensor logs. There are gaps, she said. Moments where the creature is invisible. It's bending light. Carter smiled grimly. Then it bleeds technology, he said. And technology can fail. In the trees, the predator paused. Watching the lights of the human camp grow brighter and smarter, it felt something unexpected. Respect. The hunt was no longer simple, and the predator knew the next move would decide everything. The first confrontation, the night returned to planet K-47, darker than before. As if the stars themselves were hiding, the human camp stood ready, surrounded by sensors, lights, and quiet determination. Commander Carter watched the screens closely, waiting for the enemy to move. He knew the predator would come again. The predator did not rush. It circled the camp slowly, studying the new defenses. Sensors blinked on and off as strange energy waves passed through them. The creature learned which machines could see it and which could not. At the edge of the forest, a soft alarm sounded. Motion detected, then lost, then detected again. The humans raised their weapons and took positions, breathing slow and controlled. Fear was still there, but it no longer ruled them. A sudden flash of light exploded near the trees. One of the human traps triggered, throwing debris into the air. For a brief second, a tall, armored shape appeared, and then vanished again. "Did you see that?" one soldier whispered. "Yes," Carter replied calmly, "and now it knows we saw it." The predator felt something new, pain. The explosion had damaged part of its cloak, causing brief visibility. This prey could hurt it. That made the hunt dangerous and exciting. Without warning, the predator attacked from above. It dropped into the camp like a shadow made of steel. Blades flashed, cutting through equipment and armor. Sparks filled the air as human weapons fired back. One soldier was thrown aside like a toy, crashing into a supply crate. Another fired point blank, hitting the predator's shoulder. The shot did not kill it, but it slowed it. Blood, dark and glowing faintly, splashed onto the ground. The humans froze for half a second. It could bleed. That single truth changed everything. "Focus fire," Carter shouted. "Do not chase it. Make it come to us." The predator leaped backward, vanishing into the trees again, but this time it left a trail. Drops of alien blood marked the ground, shining softly in the dark. Dr. Chun stared at the readings, her hands shaking. "It's wounded," she said, "and it's adapting faster." The humans followed the trail carefully, knowing it could be a trap. Every step was slow, every angle covered. They were no longer acting like explorers, they were acting like hunters. The trail led to a narrow canyon filled with mist. Sound echoed strangely there, bending direction and distance. Carter raised his fist and signaled the team to stop. "This place is wrong," he said quietly. The predator waited above them, clinging to the rock face. It had planned this. The canyon would limit their movement and vision, perfect for a killing strike. But humans had learned too. Carter tossed a small device into the mist. A loud pulse echoed. revealing movement in the fog. The predator shifted, surprised. Human fire filled the canyon. The predator roared, a sound filled with anger and disbelief. It had underestimated them. With a powerful leap, the predator escaped upward, disappearing into the night sky. It was wounded, angry, and thinking. This prey did not break. This prey fought back at camp. The humans treated their injured and reinforced their defenses again. They spoke less now, but their eyes burned with resolve. They had faced the monster and survived. High in the trees, the predator watched the camp from a distance. Holding its wounded side, it replayed the battle in its mind. Humans were not weak. They were clever, stubborn, and dangerous. The first confrontation was over, and both hunter and prey knew the real war had just begun. In a predator's game the following day on planet K-47, the human camp felt tense. Sleep had been broken by nightmares and alarms. Every shadow, every rustle of leaves, made hearts pound. Faster, they had survived the first attack. But the predator was still out there. Commander Carter gathered the team near the reinforced perimeter. "We cannot let fear guide us," he said firmly. "We have to think like it thinks, anticipate its moves." Dr. Chun nodded, scanning readings on her tablet. "It's learning faster than we are," she said quietly. "But we can still adapt." Outside the camp, the predator moved silently, studying the humans as they studied it. It had learned patterns in their behavior. It knew which paths they took, which traps they set, and it was playing a game, teasing them, testing their reactions. That night, the strange sequence began, subtle but unnerving. Equipment turned on and off, without command. Lights flickered in patterns that seemed almost deliberate. Footsteps echoed around the camp, but no one was there. A soft whisper of alien language floated on the wind. Humans froze, unsure if it was real or a trick. Private Lila Santos spotted movement at the edge of the forest. She aimed her rifle and called out, "Something's there." Before she could fire, the predator's cloaking shimmered and disappeared, leaving nothing but broken branches. The team realized it had walked through their traps without triggering any of them. Carter clenched his jaw. "It wants us scared," he said, "and it's working." The predator struck again, but this time differently. It used the environment, dropping heavy rocks from the trees, cutting off supply lines, and forcing humans into corners. It was not attacking directly. It was testing, forcing mistakes, studying reactions. Every human decision fed its knowledge. The humans refused to panic. They countered the predator's tricks with ingenuity. Dr. Chun modified sensors to detect subtle heat variations. Soldiers set decoy traps, using their own footsteps to confuse it. Carter adjusted their routines constantly, refusing to fall into predictable patterns. Then came the moment of surprise. A drone picked up a faint life signal. One of the predator's devices had been left behind. It pulsed in rhythm with the humans' movements. The predator had made a mistake. It had underestimated their cleverness. Cartel signaled an immediate plan. They set a trap using the predator's device as bait, covered by smoke and sensors. They waited, hearts pounding. Hours passed, tension building with every second. Finally, a shadow moved across the perimeter. The predator appeared, drawn to its device. It noticed the humans waiting, and for the first time, paused. They were not the same prey it had faced before. They were learning, evolving. A sudden explosion forced it to retreat. The humans cheered briefly, but Carter held up his hand. "This isn't victory," he said. "It's just a message." The predator had left part of itself behind, a warning, and it would return smarter, faster, deadlier, in the trees. The predator watched the humans adapt. It felt a strange respect. This hunt was no longer simple. It was becoming a game, of intellect as well as strength, and both sides knew the real test was yet to come. The night ended quietly, but fear lingered. Every rustle, every shadow, reminded the humans and the predator alike. The hunt was far from over, and the rules had changed forever. Do you want it alive or in pieces? The next morning on planet K-47, the air was thick with tension. The humans moved quietly through the camp, checking traps and sensors. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound a warning. They knew the predator was watching, calculating, waiting. For a mistake, Commander Carter gathered his team near the edge of the forest. "We have to finish this," he said firmly. "We cannot keep reacting. We have to act first." Dr. Chun nodded, her fingers moving quickly over her tablet. "We've learned its patterns," she said. and we can predict its next move, maybe even trap it." The predator, high in the canopy, observed them silently. It had grown cautious after their last encounter. The humans were clever, adapting faster than expected. It had underestimated them before, but now it understood. They were not prey to be killed easily. They were worthy opponents. Carter led the team toward the canyon, where the first confrontation had occurred. They set traps along narrow paths and covered every exit with sensors and fire points. Every movement was calculated, every action planned. The humans were ready for the predator. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the ground. The predator had arrived, cloaked, blending perfectly with shadows and rocks. Its movements were silent, but its presence was overwhelming. "You there?" Carter called boldly. "We know you're here." The forest echoed with the predator's response, a deep clicking sound, almost like laughter. The battle began in earnest. The predator attacked from above, swinging its blades and using tools to disable traps. But the humans were ready, firing, luring it into confined spaces. Dr. Chun activated an energy net. Designed from their previous scans of its movements, it glowed and trapped part of the creature for a moment. The predator roared, frustrated, trying to break free. Carter approached carefully, weapon ready. "This ends now," he said. The predator stopped, turning its glowing eyes toward him. For the first time, it hesitated. It seemed to understand the choice before it. "Do you want it alive, or in pieces?" Carter asked, his voice calm but commanding. The predator tilted its head, a strange pause, almost recognition. It had never been asked a question like that before. It had always been the hunter, never the one facing judgment. The humans advanced, slowly, keeping weapons trained, but ready to act if it tried to flee. The predator measured them, weighing strength against cleverness. It tested them with small attacks, almost playful, almost teasing, but it was serious. He wanted to know if these humans were to be respected or destroyed. Finally, it stepped back, lowering its blades slightly. A sound escaped its mask, deep and echoing, almost like acceptance. It had chosen. Temporarily, the humans did not celebrate. They stayed alert. Respect for the hunter and fear of the unknown kept them cautious. As night fell over planet K-47, the humans gathered around the fire. They had faced the predator directly and survived. They had learned, adapted, and fought with skill and courage. Carter looked at his team and smiled slightly. "Today we proved one thing," he said. "Humans do not give up. And we do not surrender." Above them, the predator watched from the trees, its respect for the humans growing. The hunt was not over, but something had changed. It had met prey that could fight back, prey that could think, plan, and survive. And for the first time, it considered the humans more than just targets. They were worthy adversaries. The forest fell silent again, both hunter and prey resting, calculating their next moves, and the war between them was far from over. The game had changed, and no one would be the same after this night. Human victory. Predator respect. The next morning on planet K-47, the human camp was quiet but alert. The forest seemed calmer, but every rustle reminded them of the predator watching. Commander Carter gathered his team for the final plan. "We end this today," he said firmly. Not with panic, not with fear, but with strategy. Dr. Chun had analyzed every movement, every reaction, every device the predator had used. She had built a network of sensors, traps, and decoys that worked together. It was a plan that relied on human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. "This is it," she said, checking her tablet. "One last time, we know its patterns better than it knows ours." The predator observed from high above, cautious, wary. It had learned to respect humans, but it still saw them as prey. It tested the perimeter. Moving silently between shadows, it would strike, but now it sensed the humans were prepared. Carter signaled, and the team moved into position. Every trap was set, every angle covered, every sensor active. The forest became a battlefield, but one that the humans controlled. They were no longer reactive. They were hunters now. The predator attacked, as expected, blades flashing, energy pulses cutting through the air, but the humans had anticipated everything. Dr. Chun triggered nets, explosions, and energy barriers in perfect sequence. The predator stumbled, its movements slowed by cleverly placed traps. Carter moved forward carefully. "Weapon ready. You have to end this," he shouted. The predator paused, calculating. It realized the humans had outsmarted it, adapted faster than it had predicted. It could fight, but but it could not win, not today. With a final leap, the predator broke free and vanished into the forest. It was wounded, but alive. The humans watched it retreat, knowing they had survived a creature far stronger and smarter than themselves. Victory was theirs, but respect for the hunt remained. Back at the camp, the team checked their systems, treated minor injuries, and reinforced defenses. Carter looked at his team, pride in his eyes. "You did more than survive," he said. "You adapted, you learned, and you fought as one." Dr. Chun added quietly, "And we made it clear. Humans are not weak prey." In the trees, the predator paused, watching the humans from a distance. It had learned something new. Humans were clever, stubborn, and unpredictable. They had earned respect, not just for surviving, but for outthinking a superior hunter.